Hello, and welcome back to the Emotionless podcast. My name is Logan, and as always, I will be your wonderful host for this episode. Today's episode is called My Room is Your Room. So, I talk a lot about this college because I have so many stories about this college. I could go on and on about these stories, and I'm starting to forget some of them, so this is kind of like my memory bank by telling you guys them. And by you guys, I mean the like two people that I know consistently watch those, that are my friends that I beg to watch and force them to watch. So I had two roommates in the spring of 2021. Anime and Butter. That's what we call them on this show. Or sometimes we call anime ramen noodles, and that's because I'm stupid and I forget people's names. Anime, so chill. Loved him. Great guy. Butter was a lot. Was a lot in the worst of ways. He was constantly disrespectful, constantly loud, constantly in everyone's faces, didn't really care who you were or what you were, would just do whatever he wanted. And that drove me up the fucking wall. But I digress. Butter had this real issue with personal space, personal boundaries, respecting people's privacy. He would constantly be in our business, in our noses. Like, I swear to God, the only place he gave us privacy was the bathroom. And honestly, that was kind of a miracle. He did use the toilet while I was showering once. He also pissed in the shower, or pissed in the toilet while I was showering one time. He, stuck, something in the door and unlocked it and came in and, pissed in the toilet. God, I have a lot of nightmares of that bathroom. But, I think what really drove me crazy about him, well, everything drove me crazy about him, was the lack of personal space and personal boundaries. It got to the point where I had to constantly lock my door, and me and my roommates had to come up with a secret knock, me and my other roommate, to let each other into the room, because we would just always keep the door locked unless neither one of us was in there. Which, again, was a risk, because if neither one of us was in there, if neither one of us was in there, it kind of became a problem, because he would go in our room when we're not home, which is obviously not okay for a variety of reasons. He would just walk in and out of the room as if it was his room whenever he pleased, and I really, I never really stood up to him about it until late into the semester, because I kind of thought it was a phase, and I kind of thought he would figure out and get social cues. At a college like that, please. That's not okay, but he never did. I don't know. He never really grasped the concept of respecting other people's space well, which was frustrating, because I'm not a super not touchy person. I'm an extrovert for sure, but when I'm in my room alone, I want to be alone, If I want you in my room, I'll invite you in my room, but please don't just walk in whenever you feel like it, I guess, because that's frustrating, and upsetting for a variety of reasons. So, yeah. Oh, the other example I thought of, was one time I was in my room changing, and he walked in. I can't even believe I'm telling you this. He walked in and he goes, "Oh my God, put some clothes on. Oh my God." And I'm like, "Excuse me? You walked into my room with a closed door." He's like, "I don't care. Oh, you shouldn't be naked in our apartment." I'm like, "I'm in my room changing. There's nobody here. I didn't even know you were home. Why are you..." What? I reported this to RD. Do you want to know what they did? Nothing. I know. You're so surprised. They did nothing. What a shocker. he would just he would never respect anyone's space, and that drove me wild. And I've mentioned in other videos, he would constantly come into my closet. He would dig through my stuff. I caught him literally ripping through my stuff. And there was another time I just came in and all my stuff was on the floor. Now, my shirts were on the floor, but that's because I had a really bad closet hanger bar. So, that was my own fault. But, it never made sense to me that he would not respect our boundaries, because it's not like they were a lot, Another thing that I really think was crossing their boundaries, and maybe this would fall more into another episode of, like, what's more yours is mine, is, he used my soap and my laundry detergent a lot. He would just, there was a short period, due to the whole, life skills team story, where I didn't shower for about 3 weeks at home. I showered at my friend's apartment. I just used her shampoo because she just didn't care. And I came back and, like, my shampoo was really empty. I'm like, what's going on? He goes, oh, yeah, I used it because I didn't want to pay for my own shampoo because it's really expensive. I know it's like $13 a bottle, bud, but, like, a $13 bottle will last you if almost not all of the semester. So $13 a semester, plus another $13 for shampoo, plus another $13 for conditioner. That's not bad for, like, 100 showers. He's like, yeah, but, like, if I can save the money, I will. And just using your shampoo, I save money. And I'm like, but that's not how that works. But unless you're him, that's how that works. Because the rules don't apply to you. It drove me insane that he constantly would use my stuff, because I don't know. Am I crazy to expect a certain lack of, or certain amount of privacy? I don't feel like that's crazy, but maybe it is. I don't know. You tell me. Maybe it is crazy, maybe it is wild, but I feel like that's a pretty normal thing to expect from someone. And I feel like that's a pretty typical thing to expect from roommates, is that they'll respect your personal boundaries and they'll respect your stuff. I don't know. I feel like that's pretty normal, but then again, a lot of things that I think would be second nature for people are really not at this school, which is super extra frustrating, for a whole list of reasons that I could dive deeply into if I wanted to. I'm trying to think if there's any other, like, times that he would just take my stuff without asking, I don't really think so. I think eventually he kind of simmered down, luckily. For me, I think he kind of got the point. My parents are definitely not happy that I'm recording a podcast at 5 o'clock in the morning, because it's not like I'm screaming, but I'm definitely not being quiet. Just trying to see if he's, like, still standing in the door, staring at me like I'm a fucking crazy person. I mean, I am a fucking crazy person, but, like, they're also probably wide awake. Yeah. I don't know. I question the roommates there a lot, because I think a lot of them should all be in their own single rooms because of the way they act. But I digress. That's all for this story. Thank you for watching this riveting and engaging story. I know this wasn't very engaging, but I hope these little mini stories are interesting. If you have a story, please send it to emotionless.podcast@gmail.com, or to our Google form, which will be coming out soon. Or DM us on Instagram at emotionless.podcast, or DM us on Twitter, or tweet at us, emotions_podcast. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.